This is the start of the 2.7 race course at Sunken Meadow State
Park.
As you can see, it's very long and gonna have a lot of people on it, so it's important to get a reasonably fast start.
The beginning of the course features a very long, flat, and straight path until you reach the bridge, which is where it begins to narrow. Good luck! After the start, you'll round the far tree here, and you'll continue along this path onto the bridge, which brings you into the forest. After crossing the bridge, you'll make a sharp left turn and enter the trails of Sunken Meadow. Here, you'll head up this path, which will bring you to the next part of the course. Once you reach this small hill, you make a roundabout, this big tree, and you begin to enter the picnic area. Coming down from the tree, you'll reach this section of open forest, known as the picnic area. You'll run along the far edge of the picnic area until you reach this intersection, where you'll make a left and head up to this trail, which brings you to the opposite side. Once you return to the picnic area, you'll reach this section of the trail, which happens to be the mile marker. Sometimes, coaches will stand here with watches and yell out your split time so you know your first mile is. Or you can wear a watch to measure it yourself, although not everyone does that. The first mile marker is characterized by the red building behind it and the fact that they'll be approaching the parking lot section after it. Coming down from the picnic area, you'll reach this parking lot, which you'll run along the outside of until you reach the only major hill on this course, College Hill. Go! This is College Hill, and although it may not look like much, it's tough. This hill is about halfway into the course, so it's important not to waste too much energy going up it, so that way you have nothing left for your finish. However, you don't want to go too slow, so that way too many others runners will pass you. Therefore, it's important to maintain a constant effort and keep a short stride, so that way you're as efficient as possible up it. This part of the course is essentially a giant circle. After you reach the top of College Hill, you'll follow this field along the fence until you reach the road, where you'll hang a right and follow the field on that side. This part of the course is usually marked with cones, so you know exactly where to go. After that, you'll hang another right and keep following this field down that way. Finally, you'll hit a third right, which will bring you up a trail and up a small hill, which brings you back to the parking lot, which we discussed before. This is the end of the loop after College Hill, which happens to be directly behind us. Here, you run up the trail, make a sharp left turn down the hill, which brings you back to the parking lot. The second time you run this section of the course, it's the same as the first time. You run along the outside of the parking lot, except instead of going along the side of the picnic area, you keep running straight up the middle. Coming up the middle of the picnic area, you make the first left turn you can in this fenced section, which brings you down towards the mouse hole. Coming down from the left turn, you reach the mouse hole. This point marks 800 meters or half a mile to go before your race is finished. And this is where you should start picking up pace and pushing yourself as hard as you can, because you know the race is almost finished. It's called a mouse hole because the course transitions from wide open trail to a small, tightly packed course, which is marked with the forest on one side and the moat on the other. The mouse hole is basically a U shape, and the first half of the U is run on the far side of this creek, which is called the moat. You cross the moat by going across this bridge, and then you enter the second half of the U, which is the final part of your race. This is the final straightaway and finish line of the 2.7 course. During season, there are big white poles that are stuck into the ground, so you know exactly where you need to go. Congratulations on making it this far.